It's Missing Real with Mike Darrigo.
Liberate tutte me, ex interis.
Well, you're still here. I guess nobody speaks Latin, huh? Otherwise you would have heeded my warning not to listen to this podcast you're about to hear. But it's too late. You're here. You're home now. Yeah, we're going to talk about a creepy sci-fi horror movie from the 90s. And when I say we, I mean not just me and not just you, because you just listen. I'm talking about me and my friend Quan, who I'm about to call up on Zoom and get into this conversation, because for once, we both agree this movie is pretty awesome. All right, so here we are in another one-on-one podcast conversation, and it's already time to have Quan Ngo back on the show, because we got a movie today that we both actually like, and we're probably going to have minimal fighting this time. So please welcome back my pal Quan Ngo.
Oh, Mike, thank you for having me back on the show, and yeah, I do believe that we can both agree on this movie.
Yeah, thanks for showing back up on the show. So what are we talking about today?
One of the greatest sci-fi gothic horrors from the 90s, late 90s, from a very, let's just say, not so great director, but I'll let you fill in the gaps for that.
Oh, yeah, you've already made a gap. All right, but okay.
Like I said, I'll definitely let you fill in that, the technical stuff. I'll just say that I like some of his work, not all of it, because a lot of it is garbage, but let me tell you, Event Horizon, one of the best.
I loved it too. All right, well, it's Event Horizon, in case you guys haven't figured it out yet. But Event Horizon, it's Event Horizon. And before we even talk about Event Horizon, the movie, I wonder just how many of the viewers of this film even know what the hell an Event Horizon is. I mean, I didn't exactly know either until I took a few more science classes. But you do, right?
I believe it's a black hole, or at least the cusp of a black hole.
Yeah, it's like the rim. Yeah, it's the part that won't let anything through, light, radiation, or anything. It's like the point of no return, if in simpler terms. But yeah, it just sounds like a cool, mysterious title for a cool space horror movie.
Yes.
Which is good. And yeah, our director that you are somewhat a fan of is Paul W.S. Anderson, the guy who gave us Resident Evil and AVP. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I know.
Mortal Kombat, but we know about that. Well, he's done some recent stuff. I haven't really followed a lot of his latest stuff, but he did do a Monster Hunter with Mila Jovovich, which I didn't see, but it looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, he's like a very visual, very special effect laden movie maker kind of guy, which I love. And there's usually just a lot of fun. His movies are fun. They're very good production design usually, and
generally very campy as well.
A little bit, I guess, but that's why we do these podcasts, man, because the campy movies are the only ones you can really make fun of.
Yeah, or just, it's one of those things you just sit back and enjoy it.
I do. When you first saw Event Horizon, how'd that go?
I was 9 years old, so it scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah. This is kind of like your Alien, I guess, right? But
oh yeah, this was Hellraiser in space.
It is Hellraiser in space, pretty much, because even we'll get to the whole thing with the gateway rings, but that was really inspired by the puzzle box from Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
I think even Clive Barker himself was consulting on the pre-production, like, all right, just don't rip it off. It can't be a cube. It's got to be a bunch of rings, and then you're okay. And then when they align, hell breaks loose, which is awesome. I didn't know what this movie was going to be, but I used to just go and see any old movie that took place in space. And I was hoping, okay, maybe we'll get some monsters and stuff. This is more or less Hellraiser and The Shining in space.
Yeah, pretty much like a giant haunted house floating around Neptune.
Yeah, and it's very cool. It's somewhat original. I mean, it does borrow from a few other staples of horror cinema, but visually it's pretty damn amazing. It does look, it's a great looking movie for its time, and that was 97.
Yes.
It still holds up. I think the effects...
Oh, without a doubt. I wholeheartedly agree that it definitely holds up. And I was also very surprised that it's not based off like a book or anything. It was just its own thing.
Right, yeah, it was an original story screenplay, but I think other things came about afterward, like Dead Space and some of the video games were very inspired by Event Horizon.
Yes, definitely. I've played Dead Space 1 and 2, and there's definitely a lot of parallels or similarities or whatever you want to say, yeah.
But at that point, you got over the movie and all your phobias and stuff, and you could just game.
Oh, yeah.
No scars remain. It's good. I was kind of hoping for some aliens and shit, but yeah, we get enough of those alien movies. Let's just see what else is out there. It saves on the budget too. Instead of like creating all these monsters and special effects, let's just have your lead character go completely bonkers and try to kill everyone and lead them into hell.
Yeah, fun little body horror thing.
Love that. Our lead actor is Sam Neill, who's a pretty awesome actor who's been in some amazing horror stuff, going way back to my first viewing of The Final Conflict in 1981. He was Damien, the son of Satan. That was one of those Omen movies. And he was pretty good in that. And I didn't trust him right from the get-go. He looks a little bit like he had some hidden agenda. And other great stuff that I loved him in is Dead Calm and In the Mountain
Jurassic Park.
You like Jurassic Park. I liked it too. Yeah. Although the only thing I liked him doing in that was when he tried to scare the kids by faking getting electrocuted on the fence.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I thought that was a pretty cookie cutter, just straight up, leading action role. But I mean, he's very good. He just reeled it in a little bit, I guess.
I just feel bad because I think the only movie that at least I know him for that he did after this was Jurassic Park 3.
Right. He did the first and the third one. I guess the second one they had to hand it over to Jeff Goldblum, and that's probably why he didn't do that well.
Yep.
But all right, Sam Neill's good. He's got a great track record there. There's a whole bunch of other good actors in this movie that have been in various awesome stuff. We got Laurence Fishburne.
Oh yeah, Morpheus, and also Perry White.
He was no longer Larry Fishburne, and I think is he now Sir Lawrence Fishburne? I don't really know.
But he got knighted?
I'm not really sure. He might have got, maybe in the Matrix somewhere, he might have like swallowed a pill and became a knight. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, he's all right, man. He's come a long way from Boys in the Hood and Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the cowboy.
I don't have too much experience with that either, but thank you, IMDb. But yeah, once he was Morpheus, that's it, man. Just cemented in. You got a defining role. Other people, so I'll just run through the crew real quick before we kill them all.
Yep.
And if you love any of these people or give a shit about any of them, give me a shout out. There's Kathleen Quinlan playing Peters. I think she's the medical officer there.
No, I think the guy was the medical officer. She was like the tech.
All right, maybe the RN. I don't know. But she was in that. But the cool thing about her is she's in another movie that I liked. A very good Kurt Russell movie, Breakdown, along with one of the other actors who played Justin, Jack Noseworthy. He was also in Encino Man and a Bon Jovi video. So hurrah, man.
All right, yeah, go Bon Jovi.
What a career, dude. Yeah. No, I'm jealous. Jolie Richardson, she was cute there. She started off in a Diet Coke commercial with Pierce Brosnan. She was in The Patriot with Mel Gibson and some Day of the Triffids remake, if you like killer plant movies. Another great actor I liked in this movie, who I haven't seen in much either, but he had one of the best lines in the film. Richard T. Jones plays Cooper, offering something to Jolie Richardson when she gets out of her sleep chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you want something hot and black in you? Well, that's not hot. That's even better than the, you robot.
That's a Me Too thing right there.
These guys got some pickup lines. Well, I know, but Me Too hadn't been invented when this movie came out. And it was everyone sleeps in the same underwear. And well, actually, no, when these people go to sleep in hyperspace, the women are always covering up on top and the men usually just have the tighty whities on. But there's always room for, harassment in space when you're really far away from the nearest lawyer. And they do that, but it's all in good fun because they're all going to be dead.
Of course.
They're all going to be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a little, flirtation and sexism before you go off to hell with your eyes gouged out? One more cool person I want to mention is Jason Isaacs playing DJ, who's been in a whole bunch of cool shit.
Yeah.
You know some of his work in the sci-fi realm?
Well, I know he's the dad in Harry Potter with the white hair. Forgot his name.
Yeah, he's Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, that one.
Could barely recognize him with his blonde long hair. I thought he was like one of those elves from Lord of the Rings. But he's also Captain Lorca on Star Trek Discovery. And cooler than that, he was the Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels, the animated.
Oh, yes, he was.
He was the voice of the Inquisitor with his little fucking light pinwheel thing that he was. I thought that was a cool weapon.
I did dig that lightsaber a lot. It was that all the Inquisitors had.
Yeah, you just have to throw it at somebody and make sure it hits and it comes back like a boomerang or something.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Just don't lose it. That's kind of hard to replace. He was good. Wait, one more cool Brit dude, Sean Pertwee playing Smitty. He is the son of Doctor Who, John Pertwee, for any Doctor Who nerds out there with their sonic screwdrivers in hand. I just want to...
Really? I did not know that either.
Give some props. I have not seen much, if any, Doctor Who. I think I have like about 50 years to catch up on.
Yeah.
But I know it's like a touchstone of sci-fi, so I have to mention that. But he's in a lot of good shit too. He's also Alfred in Gotham. He got a bit old now, but he's playing Alfred now. So you've arrived. All right, enough about the actors. I don't know if I missed anybody. Sorry if I did, but you all got credited and paid. So talk about the movie, man. Like opening up, kind of creepy. We don't know what the hell's going on. There's a lot of stuff floating around in zero gravity. And Samuel wakes up from a nightmare, and he seems to be missing his wife, who we presume either left him or just perished. And there's this very dizzying space station special effect that cost, I'd heard, at least like 30% of the film's budget just to do this one shot.
Wow, okay.
But he's Dr. Weird, which becomes
Yes,
very quickly Dr. Weird.
Yeah, he's the NSA scientist that, let's just say he built the ship. And he built the gravity drive.
Which got lost. So we're basically looking for the event horizon. The year is 2040. And this ship went out exploring around Neptune and never came back. And they lost contact. And
for 7 years.
Yeah, they checked Neptune. They checked Uranus. No sign of it. So now it's 2047. And they got some sort of a signal or something. They think they've located it. They got to go find it. But they got to bring Sam Neill along because he knows everything about it. And that's probably why this whole movie goes downhill from there. Or maybe it would have done something to somebody else. I don't know. He just had a connection with whatever was on the other side of the black hole gravity drive thing. But he goes all Jack Torrance and becomes more and more demented and scary. And he doesn't get along with the crew right from the beginning. Nobody seems to like the guy.
That's because his role was to act like a completely pompous asshole because, of course, he's a scientist in a horror movie. So obviously they're all dicks.
They usually are. Or like they try to make contact. And I mean, I like this guy in a lot of other movies. But yeah, he's kind of a schmuck here. I like the crew a lot.
Oh, the crew dynamic was amazing. I was actually very surprised at how well like everyone was interacting. All the little things that they were doing.
Yeah, no, you actually come to believe in a really short time that, yeah, they get along pretty well. And they've done a lot of missions together, and it's kind of like, all right, let's just do this for the money, but let's play it by the book and not like get.
They were a military search and rescue crew.
Right. And this is like the biggest search and rescue of their career because this ship has probably got a lot of secrets from 7 years gone, and it probably cost a lot of money.
So what happened was, at least from what I can recall, since I just rewatched it, so apparently it was the first ship to ever go that far out, and he'd use the secret experimental gravity drive that Dr. Weir had invented, designed, and created. When it disappeared after its maiden voyage, the government just told everyone, yeah, it just blew up in space. We don't know what happened to it. And then when, 7 years later is when they get a very creepy radio transmission from the ship.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that Latin thing that they need to decipher. And it's kind of...
Which I had a problem with that.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't know you were so well versed in the tongues, but what's the matter? Was it the message itself or the way they decipher it?
No. So the NSA scientist gets a crew together from the military. It says, we have to go out to here. Okay, no problem. So it's a 2-month or like 56-day trip because, they have to go into hypersleep and stuff, and it's very far out into Neptune. It's when they wake up and they're inside, like, I guess the meeting room is when they start discussing the mission. It's a very big trope for movies, and it's just for the audience, for the exposition, that right then and there is when they start telling the crew what's going on.
Oh, yeah, I understand. This is the same problem we had with Prometheus. Is that like, okay, now that you're there, here's your job that you signed up for. Anyone want to turn back? All right, there's the door.
Yeah, good luck. You got to wait.
Vacuum of space right out there.
So that was one of my problems right there. I'm like, oh, that's such a trope where, all right, well, yep. And then the second part is the whole Latin thing is when they're discussing like, oh, the ship's actually not destroyed. We actually just found it again. We lied to the people. Now you're finding out this is the mission. Dr. Weir, plays the recording, which I can only assume has been like scrutinized by all governments and all everybody. And they're literally like, we have no idea what the message is. It took the medic, JB, 2 seconds to decipher and be like, oh, that's Latin. Oh, I know what that says. And then everyone just looks at him surprised. Even the doctor was like, oh, is that what that says?
Wow. I mean, yeah, it sounds like it's saying liberate me or like liberace play. And either way, it's horrifying.
But my whole thing is you could assume that, all right, clearly the government or the NSA, whoever, has intercepted this message. And they already said that, oh, we had to put it through a bunch of filters just to hear it out. Okay, cool. They put it through filters. And he's like, I don't know what the guy's saying. It took the medic 2 seconds where he's like, oh, yeah, that's Latin. Oh, here's the translation. I only know it because I know Latin.
They could have cleaned the filters, probably would have helped. But they found out what it meant. And the meeting scenario, it is all this exposition crap.
Exactly.
That's how a movie is. It's like if they already know everything and they don't say anything, it's going to be like a silent film. And we just watch them go through the motions.
I mean, I would have been okay if they were like on the like space station, like, around Earth and saying like, this is what we're doing, guys. Let's go.
Yeah. Or you've all been briefed and then just skip the whole scene.
Exactly. And then they just do a flashback.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that's what happened. Okay.
There's a lot of people on that ship that don't understand the whole black hole business. So Sam Neill takes the piece of paper and pokes a hole through the centerfold and shows how the hole in space, the coordinates can occupy the same coordinates, folding space, that kind of thing.
They pretty much took everything from Stephen Hawking's A Universe in a Nutshell and A Brief History of Time. I've read both of those, so that's definitely where you got most of that from.
You're probably a whole lot smarter than I, but I know they did the space-time folding shit in Dune. At least they talked about it, and they use the exact same paper folding thing in Interstellar. So it must work.
I never saw it either.
You never saw Interstellar?
Nah.
Kidding me, man. All right, it's Chris Nolan. Great movie.
It just seemed weird with Matthew McConaughey punching a bookshelf. I didn't care.
It's okay. It's McConaughey. And if you never saw Dune, man, it's like better than any drug you'll ever try.
No, I watched Dune. It is a hard movie to sit through.
It is a drug for the eyes, but
it's a shitty drug for the eyes.
It is. I know you come down pretty hard after that one. But okay, the space-time folding shit, that's what he's explaining to them, like that there's this gravity drive thing inside the event horizon, and that's probably what cost it 7 years of delay, because it's gone somewhere beyond this universe, and it's very, very cryptic and scary. But they're gonna go get the ship back, I guess, and they do find it finally. They almost crash into it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how observant you are, and I didn't even see this because, of course, I had to cheat and read all of the trivia, but the model of the Event Horizon ship, if you look really closely at the bottom of it, it contains a complete X-Wing fighter.
Does it really?
It really does, unless maybe they picked up a Rebel flying around in the
I had no idea that they did that.
You're going to have to zoom in and look at it, I guess. I don't know, but I guess you can't. I just found out now, and it's too late for them to get sued. I guess maybe nobody knew about it until... but it's
awesome.
People stick Star Wars ships into movies. Even in Blade Runner, the Millennium Falcon makes up part of the top of a building. It's just...
I didn't know that either. That's awesome. Yeah.
You have to like really geek into these things like I do. The movie would be great even without that. I mean, it would be cool if they worked it into the plot. Maybe like they use it as an escape ship, like got away.
Yeah.
They didn't. But they find the Event Horizon. They go in there. The gravity is off. We get to see some really nice things floating around, zero-G special effects and little blobs of liquid. I guess, I don't know, was it coolant or blood?
But if you watch the movie now, you could definitely see how dated some of the graphics are. And also some of the sound effects are such classic 90s action movie sound effects, which, granted, not a problem. I thought it was great. I loved it.
You mean like the jump scare? Like when there's a dead body floating into view?
That, and also like with the sounds they make when they were hitting the walls, or like when the metal was hitting the walls, like I'm like, oh, that's so classic. Like they just reused a bunch of old like clips from like other movies, like just for the noises. I'm like, oh,
gosh, man, I didn't realize that the film's sound library was not expansive enough to your liking.
Oh, no, trust me, I loved it. I just noticed it. I was like, oh, still a great movie, and I still think it holds up today.
That Foley was not creative enough at all. It's still a good movie.
Still an amazing movie.
There's some great stock sound effects. I mean, other than the helm scream, which is in every movie. Yeah. That wasn't in here, though, I don't think.
No, it was not.
You got to give them credit for not using that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like in every soundtrack. But when they get on, they open up all the hallways, and they give you a little hint of what could happen to this big, long hallway if you blow it up in the middle. It separates the ship. I guess that's like foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. So that they're definitely going to use that later. They're not going to leave us hanging and cheat us out of seeing the ship blow up and separate.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't see it coming. I was just like, oh, they actually are going to use this. Okay.
They are. Yeah. I mean, that's like the emergency escape hatch button or the self-destruct. They're going to push all the buttons in there.
So the way the ship was designed, there's the front part and the back part. If you blow up the bridge between the two, the front part, it acts like an escape pod.
Like, a lifeboat.
Yeah, a lifeboat.
They really could use, but I think it's more of a death boat for everybody. And the gravity drive, I think, is it at the back? Because
it's in the ass of the ship.
It's in the ass of the ship, where it belongs. And they show you that ass of the ship pretty quickly in the movie. It's just a really cool reveal. Big dark room, and the lights start coming up.
We could talk about that. Like, oh my god, like the design of the ship was so cool. It's such a gothic, futuristic, dark kind of setting. Nothing realistic in the slightest that you'd ever put in a spaceship.
No.
Because like there's this old joke from like Family Guy where they're like, it was like a Family Guy Simpsons crossover. They're like, oh, there's a lot of dark, shadowy parts in this place. And I just kept thinking about that when I was watching the movie, how for a spaceship, there's a lot of dark and shadowy parts.
Yeah, we want light, but this is a horror movie, so you can't you can't scare anybody without some dark, shadowy places for things to jump out of. And
I completely understand that, but I just thought it was funny where literally a lot of stuff like that, like that's not the way you would design it. Like if Steve Jobs was alive, it would be white and lights and Apple symbols everywhere.
Of course, yeah. But also maybe the ship was lost for 7 years and it was like on reserve power, so maybe they couldn't kick on all the fluorescence.
I guess not, yeah.
When the emergency lighting goes on and you just see like very, very dim lighting, kind of like that. I don't know. But it also, lends to the atmosphere. And when you walk down that tunnel to get to the gravity drive, it is like that spinning meat grinder kind of tunnel. It gives you a lot of like the vertigo. The actors couldn't even walk down that tunnel, I think, without getting all dizzy. And then they finally get into the room and you see the 3 rings spinning around. It's like, I know they can't align on their own. It's like, that's not possible, because the rings have a tendency to keep aligning on their own and opening the doorway to hell.
Yep. Or just some type of hell dimension. I
mean, if they're just spinning around at random, don't you think at some point within like a couple of hours, they are going to line up perfectly and open? That's like the only way. It's kind of like a very flimsy lock, I think.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
It's supposed to lock, so that you don't like get in and out of other universes accidentally or let shit come in from other universes. But all right, we listen to the transmission. People start seeing things. The doc or the med tech sees her son with his legs all infected, and he's back on Earth somewhere. And of course, Sam Neill keeps seeing his dead wife who slit her wrist in a bathtub, and she keeps, showing up uninvited.
Yep.
People start losing their marbles and hallucinating.
JD pulls a knife on one of the other crew members. Tensions are very high. It is a haunted house in space.
And now there's like a suicidal dude, because I think one of the young dude there, Justin, Bon Jovi video guy, was unfortunate enough to peek into the core, and he sees something there. And it's like the dark, and he gets all catatonic.
He got sucked in, though, so he visited that other hell dimension.
Yeah, he decides to stick his finger in the vertical anti-gravity black goo. There it is again, the black goo, and it's on the other side of the window, and he goes in and comes back out, and he's all traumatized, and eventually he tries to let himself out an airlock.
Yeah.
And he decompresses.
He did. He didn't try. He did. They
get him back in really quick so he doesn't spoil. They preserved him. He was probably hemorrhaging. I don't know. I never tried that. I don't think I want to. The depressurization is pretty scary shit.
Which is actually, it was a great scene too, because they even showed like his veins and his arteries popping out of his skin, the blood coming out. The only thing they messed up on was the eyes. If he didn't freeze to death, his eyes should have exploded, and so should have his lungs.
I think they told him to shut his eyes real tight before they rescued him and bring him back in. Because he did finally come back to his senses right 1 second before the door opens. Like, what am I doing in here? Where am I? Yeah. And meanwhile, he just wanted to say, if you've seen what I've seen, you'd want to die too.
Yeah.
They get him back in, and his eyes are fine. But not, actually, that's funny because everybody's eyes basically are out of their head by the end of the movie.
They're all gouged out. They weren't even.
They just pull their own eyes out, or somebody does it for them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need eyes to see where we're going. That's the mentality behind it.
Yeah, it's Back to the Future. Roads? We don't need roads.
Roads? No, but I'd rather have my eyes. Otherwise, you can't even see the road. So they find out what the damn Latin really is. Liberate tu te me ex inferis. See, I said that very well, I think. Save yourself from hell. Yeah. And they weren't joking, right? Because they had a video of the old crew. They really went they looked like they were having some kind of an orgy, bloodbath.
So that was my thing. That was the first time I've ever seen cannibalism and rape in one scene. I was like, oh wow, they are really going at it, huh?
Yeah, at least it wasn't on a steady cam. You really couldn't make it out that well. But
yeah, no, it was a shaky bullshit camera.
That must have been still disturbing for the likes of you at that age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what do you know? Now I have a kink for it.
Yeah, nowadays it's on constant loop. And much better video quality, I must say. Yeah, like HD. But yeah, that was disturbing. That's there's definitely a lot of mismanagement in that crew. And that's because they all went through the little black hole thing and they came back and now, look, I don't have eyes anymore.
Who we're talking about is actually the original first crew that went with the Event Horizon.
Yes.
They're the ones on the video that, the new crew, Laurence Fishburne's crew actually saw.
Mm-hmm.
There was an old video log of what had happened.
The final log.
Yeah, exactly. The old crew did not, no, they didn't end well.
Nope. And then pretty much everyone except Sam Neill is all ready to just get on out of Dodge, fuck this ship. And that's
Cooper and the British dude with the shaved head, like the son of the Doctor Who guy.
Yeah.
They wanted nothing to do with this ship, like at all.
I don't think anybody did, no matter how scientific their minds might be. They're like, no, let's go home.
Well, that's because they were smart. They're literally like, oh, something bad happened? Why the fuck are we still here? Let's just fucking bail. No. We're military. We have to follow orders. Blah, blah, blah.
We have to salvage this ship. You better hurry up. We're going to find himself walking home. He goes, I am home. He's all very, very enamored with the hell stuff. And he loves his gravity drive and his rings. And he doesn't want to leave. And of course, he starts sabotaging everything. People start dying and hallucinating. And, I feel bad for him because if it wasn't for his damn dead wife vision coming to haunt him, and probably convincing him what to do, you could be with me, just, gouge out your eyes and come to hell.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so actually there was another issue I noticed. So the ship that they took to get to the Event Horizon was Laurence Fishburne's ship, the Lewis and Clark.
The Lewis and Clark, and I know they never got into space, but whatever, you can name it after them if you want to.
But so there's a scene where, you mind saying what happens to both ships or not?
Do it, man. Spoiler alerts are way beyond us now.
Good point. All right. So Sam Neill or Dr. Weir, he wants to sabotage the Lewis and Clark because he doesn't want anyone to leave. They all have to stay on the ship with him so they can all go to the hell dimension together.
Yeah, we have a new crew now. Yeah.
Yep. So he takes one of the explosives from the corridors that's used to separate the ships and he hides it on the Lewis and Clark to blow up.
Yes.
Okay. What's his face finds it, the British guy, the son of the Doctor Who guy. He finds it with 6 seconds left.
But he can't press stop.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have a button on it.
On the bomb, it literally had a big button that said disable, and he didn't press it. He just watched it. I'm like, I think they kind of,
I think he was a little disabled if he couldn't figure that out.
Exactly. I'm gonna look like it said in big. It was either white or black letters that literally said "disable" with a button next to it.
Right.
And instead of pressing it, he just looked at it.
No passcode, just push it. Right.
Which, to be fair, compared to the way a lot of other people died in the movie, I think that was probably one of the best ways to go.
That was the calmest, cleanest way. Yeah, but he could have. It's not like he could have thrown it out the window or something. Okay, I found the bomb.
No, all he had to do was just push disable. That was it. There you go. There was a button that literally said disable.
All right. Well, we don't bring a lot of smart people along for the ride on these horror space movies, and that was pretty stupid. I gotta say. Anyway, if they recut that scene, maybe with only 1 second left, maybe it would make more sense and be more plausible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. They're never going to do it. Even though I know there was a 130-minute cut of this film originally, and of course,
wait, is there really?
There is, or there was, and I'd love to watch it. But it was.
I would love to watch that movie. I didn't know.
They didn't remaster the footage. It was on a bad VHS copy, and I think it was pretty much totaled, and I don't know what they're going to do about it. There's a few little clips of stuff, but very little survived. I'm sorry, man. They cut it. The damn studios or the test audiences didn't like it enough. It's too bad, man.
I would say it because the version I saw was an hour and 30, and there's an extra, there's a 2-hour cut. I want to see that.
There was, but I don't think it's going to be, assembled or visible again. I mean, you could just see a couple of little clips maybe somewhere.
Yeah, it even says right here, Paul W.S. Anderson cut around 30 minutes of the footage from the film. Why? Oh, God, why?
Damn studios. This is the one movie you like by him. You want to see all of it, right?
Exactly, yeah. Because here's the thing. I watched it with a friend of mine, and we were literally talking about how this movie was just... I watch a lot of anime, and with anime, every episode, there's always a scene of someone expositing something. And this movie barely had any exposition. It was literally just it's a ship. It's hell dimension. There you go.
Yeah. I don't think they cut out all exposition. It was probably a little more horror stuff. I think there was a Sam Neill crawling down a ladder, in his sliced up bodysuit, whatever it is. Yeah. Kind of like a little bit of Exorcist tip of the hat. But yeah, I just saw a clip of that and probably a few other scenes where they're arguing or meeting up. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. If the movie is good, I always say just throw in some more scenes and flesh it out a little more. And I love it. It's like, I don't want it to be over that quick.
Oh, man.
This is a short movie.
I'm reading it right now, and it says that there's a lot more grotesque gags, and they used porn stars to do this.
Yeah, the cannibal orgy scene must have been a lot better.
Oh, my God. Damn it, man. Man, this sucks. I wish you didn't tell me that. Now I want to hunt down this version of the movie.
And I want to kill all those execs at Paramount or whoever they were.
Oh, that'd have been amazing if if I saw it 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I wish they would. Maybe they'll remake it with somebody who doesn't ruin movies.
No, I'm looking it up right now. I don't think they will. God damn it, that'd be great.
I know. Oh, well, what can I tell you? Let's just find another movie that's longer than Event Horizon that's almost as good, but I don't know if there are any, but we'll find out. We'll kick that around maybe later on. But let's get out of this hellhole first, see what else happens to the rest of the people. I don't know if there's anyone left to kill. Well, Fishburne is almost the last to go, and he's there till just about to the end, and he's fighting off Sam Neill, who is now taken off all of his clothes and his eyes, and is got cuts all over himself, and he just wants to bring everyone to hell.
Let's see. We have Justin is now incapacitated.
Yeah.
The British dude who is the son of Doctor Who is dead.
He blew up because he didn't disable.
Either the RN or whatever she was.
One of them fell off the ledge thinking she was following her son, and he was just tricking her into falling into the middle of a gravity drive.
Yeah, so she's down and out for the count. Let's see who else we got left.
Yeah, DJ gets carved open and hung up like a chandelier.
He went in a pretty bad way.
Well, that's probably somebody from Hogwarts, with fucking Harry's friends. Not Slytherin, the nice house that everybody loves.
Oh, Gryffindor.
Yeah, Gryffindor. Some fucking Gryffindor probably took him out. I don't know. But yeah, he's dead. Pretty much everyone's dead. I think Richard T. Jones was flying through space. He was blown out, and he was just flying back using what was left of his oxygen.
There was another problem with that scene too. Oh my God, I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah, he tries to get back to the ship using the the oxygen.
So see, he used an oxygen burst, which. Yeah. So a lot of sci-fi does this, and there's a lot of science behind it.
Yeah, physics and science, right?
So, but my problem is the amount of calculations he would have to do on the fly, since not only was he being propelled away from the ship, he was also doing it in a piece of metal that had more mass than him, and he was spinning. So
yeah, I don't know the formula, but yeah, you have to be, your trajectory has to be so precise.
Exactly, and somehow he lands right. I was like, oh, look at that! I came right back, and
he misses by a few inches. Oh shit! But he still.
No, it was awesome. But I was just sitting there. I'm like, oh, the amount of calculations you have to do in your brain. I mean, maybe he's just that smart. I don't know, but in my head, I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Nah, he's just a construction worker, whatever, salvage dude.
Yeah, it's in what was it? Star Trek, the second one, the remake second one, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Khan.
Yeah. So in that, there was a scene when they're both flying through warp space or whatever.
Oh, it's even harder to do in warp. Yeah.
So here's the thing: they're in warp, and then they get shot at, and then literally they just all of a sudden drop out of warp because the engines went down. Everyone on that ship should have been liquefied.
Oh, you'd be dead, man. Yeah, spaghettified.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm like, you know what? Just suspend all the disbelief. Just have it. Enjoy the movie.
Star Trek was more believable back with the cardboard mountains, man. You know, the science was more solid.
Mm-hmm.
These space horror movies are never going to be completely bound to reality and science.
Not at all. But I mean, this was still such a great movie.
It's fun, man. We don't want to. Yeah, I don't want Stephen Hawking or Isaac Asimov coming around and saying, this movie fails on so many levels because none of this is plausible or.
So weirdest thing is like, I started looking up the review. People still don't like this movie. I don't know why.
Oh like, even Rotten Tomatoes didn't like it. And I thought, we don't like them anymore either.
No, Rotten Tomatoes is trash anyway.
But this movie is a cult classic. A lot of people. I used to go to a video store in the village. I used to go to Kim's Video, and they used to have like the employee picks, and somebody wrote on their list like Event Horizon. Like nobody would ever write that, but like I think, I know what you mean. It's cool. I like that better than When Harry Met Fucking Sally. Yeah, of course, it's a great movie. Totally awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It doesn't get a lot of love, but I think people who are like fans of the genre know that it's a pretty solid movie. And
like this is a great movie.
It is.
If you want a good, fun horror, like if you love sci-fi and you just like horror in space, like this is a great combo of the both.
Yeah, and it's really visually pretty engaging. It's just like what you're watching on screen is pretty neat and very well executed. It doesn't look cheap.
The set design was amazing too, even though, dark shadowy parts in a spaceship, but whatever, just go with it.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of the light. Sorry, man. It's like, you got to make it dark.
Yeah.
It gets pretty cool towards the end, though. I mean, there's this fiery guy that Laurence Fishburne it brings back all your nightmares. Basically wants to show you what messes with your head the most. And, this is this soldier that he let burn to death. And this guy comes back and he tries to burn Morpheus there. And he fights with Sam Neill a little bit. And I don't know how they get the gravity drive thing to shut down or whatever. And there's this big explosion and fire and stuff. And a couple of people just get away. Oh, before that happens, though, I forgot. There's one more homage to The Shining. If you love The Shining.
Yes. That part was so corny.
There's a huge... The blood flood, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I just sat there. I'm like, where is this? Okay, whatever. Just go with it.
Yeah, it's The Shining. Come on.
Yep.
We got to see that. Where's the hedge maze now? Is it snowing out there? I don't know. But it was awesome anyway. The lifeboat gets away. I think Cooper, Stark, and Justin get out. Like one of the
Yep, they're the only ones that survived.
And they survive. And of course, it's like that one more scare at the end where, you think Sam Neill is gone, but the helmet flips up and he's still here.
But what do you know? It was a nightmare.
His cut up face. Yeah, the nightmare at the end. It was awesome. I really like this movie, though. It's like it does go through some of those cliche things.
Oh, no. It's fine. It's 100% complete. I loved this movie. Like, I may be biased because I saw it when I was a kid, but I mean, still, I honestly thought that this is still like one of the best, like, all-time horror movies in space.
Yeah, no, if you keep watching it, it still reveals new stuff. Actually, one really neat thing I love at the very end of the movie, like after she wakes up from the nightmare and you think she's okay, the camera kind of backs away and the doors are like closing. It's like the circular door, but around the door, there's these little, like a ring of white light bulbs that look exactly like the rings of the gravity core. So you wonder, are they in hell still as the movie just fades out?
Or did that part of the ship bring hell with them to Earth?
Right, yeah. It's all this cool shit. We don't know, but it's awesome. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, see, this is actually one of the few movies I hope they don't do a remake on. Like, it's fine the way it is. If anything, just release an extended cut, and then that's it. Like,
right. Well, again, I don't know if the footage exists, and if they could just maybe like reshoot those missing scenes. But you're gonna de-age the actors. What are you gonna do? Yeah, it's hard.
Exactly.
It's hard to do this, right? But hey, I mean, I love it the way it was. I would love to see a longer cut too. You've seen any other movies that kind of like come close to this one or like have that same feel to them?
That's the thing, like a haunted house in space, not really. No, like there are other space horrors, but like, those are the typical either aliens or like the other movie that Paul W.S. Anderson did, Pandorum, which was actually...
Wait, was that him, Pandorum? Because I don't know if you directed it.
I think so.
I was thinking of that movie too. And it was a pretty cool movie, but I don't remember it being like memorable enough to even want to see
it's just zombie cannibal mutants in space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing that's kind of like this maybe is Night Flyers, which was an older 80s movie that did really badly and you probably can't even find it now. But then there's like the Sci-Fi channel did a mini series of it. It's one of those like something going really bad on a spaceship and we can't go home or we're trapped within. What are we going to do? Yeah. It's like that claustrophobic, but it's like claustrophobic in a really neat environment.
See, what I liked about this one is there was not really that much claustrophobia. This was more of like, bad shit is happening to you. You don't have to worry about being like in a box. Like, you just have to try to outdo the evil.
Yeah, but there's not that many places you can go. You can either go forward or backwards. That's it. It's like, it's pretty much like a big needle in space. You really, it's like not a lot of turns or detours or not enough escape pods is really the problem with it.
Yeah.
Because you can sabotage them all.
Paul W.S. Anderson he produced Pandorum.
Okay, there. So he had to have something to do. Like, we really loved your movie Event Horizon. You want to like help us out with ours? Yeah. It won't be as good though, sadly. I mean, I'll watch that again. I just want to check it out. But I remember it was kind of cool. It's like one of my kind of movie.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I actually like that one too.
And I mean, I hope there is something else awesome of this, caliber coming around someday. But yeah, Paul W.S. Anderson's just doing like monster special effect movies. But I think he just wanted to do this horror thing after he did Mortal Kombat. He wanted something a little bit more hardcore. I think even that was like PG or PG-13. And
yeah, Mortal Kombat 1995 was PG-13.
Yeah, he just wanted to go straight up all the way to like horror. And even like his cut was probably almost like NC-17. But what we saw was good enough. Yeah, I think the gore factor was satisfying. There was definitely enough blood spilled and disgusting things, but also stuff to think about.
I'm looking through his filmography and I'm thinking, oh, he did Soldier. That was a great movie.
I like that movie too, man. Even though I didn't do much at the time, I dig that movie. It was also cool visual. And again, where else are you going to see Jason Scott Lee not playing Bruce Lee, but also being cool and fighting people in a good movie?
Yeah, that's true.
That didn't go straight to video. I mean, because he's been in some other shit too. But I mean, I really liked, he was good in Soldier.
Yeah. I mean, Kurt Russell too. Like,
yeah, neither one of them said much of a sentence in the entire movie. It's like
also, what was it? Gary Busey before the accident. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Who else was JB, the med guy? He was also in Soldier as well.
Yeah, he's in a lot of Anderson's movies.
Yeah,
he was.
Back to the Event Horizon, though. I mean, I guess the way I could say it is, it's a great classic horror movie, great visuals. It doesn't really rely on computer graphics a lot. A lot of it, like the horror stuff, is actually like really good practical effects with body horror, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, man. If it's completely computer generated, it really just loses everything, no matter how fancy you're trying to show things off. It's like, I don't believe in it. It doesn't look real enough to me.
Exactly. Like, I rewatched The Thing, the remake or the prequel, whatever.
Yeah, the prequel.
I actually like that movie, but like, it definitely doesn't hit the same way when you use computer graphics instead of like the practical,
No, I'm kind of thinking they did a little, like maybe half with that one. Because some of it looked practical, but definitely a lot of it was CG.
Yeah, it's not like the original.
They tried to go for it, though. I mean, I salute them for making it, and I thought it was well done, even though John Carpenter probably doesn't give a flying fuck. But, I liked it. I'm glad they made it. It was worthy enough to be...
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Even though everyone hates that movie, I 100% agree with you on that one.
What hates the prequel?
Yeah, the prequel, The Thing. Everyone shits on that movie. I'm like, why? This movie was fun.
I really didn't have a problem. I was hoping it would be good, but I didn't get my hopes up too high, and that's why I liked it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I saw it in theaters, and I'm like, this was 100% okay.
It is. And it's good. I mean, that is another movie you probably should never remake, The Thing, because it was already a remake and it improved so much on the original black and white movie. It's like a completely different thing altogether. But yeah, trying to remake that again, you're never going to get any better than what you saw there. And it doesn't matter. The money, no matter how much money you put into it, it's like it loses the whole mood and the scare. I'll watch that movie over and over again. It still creeps me out every single time.
Agreed, 100%.
It's a brilliant movie, as is Event Horizon.
Event Horizon was great. What was great about Event Horizon 2, hour and 30-minute romp, get in, get out, it's a good way to do it.
It doesn't overstay its welcome.
Exactly.
But I would still watch a crappy old VHS copy of the long cut if it existed anyway.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I would buy a VCR again.
Yeah.
And then try to find some type of converter for my TV. For the RCA.
If that very video store that I saw the employee pick, that's the kind of place where they used to actually tape like work prints or like rough cuts of movies and you could rent them out on tape back then. I actually saw
really illegal shit back then.
Illegal shit, yes. I probably I know I watched like a really unauthorized Alien 3 cut back then because I was just so obsessed with that. Just to see
what a choice.
No, it was good extra footage. And some of it was re-edited in. But yeah, to see Event Horizon, like the whole thing back then, I would be like, whoa, it's awesome. Yes, even on tape. And I'll just illegally copy it on my VCR as well so I could have it. But nah, probably never going to see it, dude. It's okay.
Damn shame.
You just have nightmares about it and imagine it for yourself.
Yeah, I really wish they made more movies like Event Horizon. Nobody's making dumb choices. Everyone's making like, what you would picture to be like a rational choice. And bad shit just still happens no matter how hard you try because of just some dickhead or some monster or evil.
You're just doomed, or you picked the wrong scientist to go with you.
Exactly. Like I don't think anyone really made that many terrible choices. Which is what I hated about Prometheus, is how like all these supposedly really smart people are just, morons when bad things happen. In like Event Horizon, everyone just did their job, but no matter what they tried, it was still like very pointless. like the evil was just still too powerful.
Yeah, you're dealing with like, hell itself, and maybe you're not smarter than hell. It's okay, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just pluck out your eyeballs and surrender. It's too bad. Well, hey, this was a good choice, man. I know you must have mentioned it some time ago, but I'm glad that we drummed it back up and did this one because this was a good pick.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad I got to rewatch this movie again.
Oh yeah, well, hey, you could rewatch it. You don't need an excuse. I was just ready to do this after I watched it. Like, yeah, you know what? Let's talk about this one for sure. And get ready for another one soon.
Without a doubt. Well, I think one of the fun things is like when me and you argue about a movie and how much either I love it or hate it and you love it or hate it.
Yeah, well, we could just find something that is just so loathsome we could both just dump all over it. But
I'm always down for that too. I get shit on anything.
I don't know what we feel about Demolition Man, but that's on the horizon too, I think.
I fucking love Demolition Man.
Yeah, and so do I, but it's a terrible movie, but that's what I want to talk about.
It's an amazing movie. You bite your fucking tongue.
It's a terribly amazing movie. No, I love that. I have it too. Don't worry. If I own it, it can't be that bad. But we'll watch that. We'll talk about that. And any more sci-fi shit you want to do, because these are always my favorites. It seems I do nothing but sci-fi because I don't know. I'm not going to do period dramas. Sorry, I can't.
Oh, I mean, I could always talk about gangs in New York too, but whatever.
Maybe that, or Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman.
No. I will not watch that again. Holy shit! I tried watching it. It was terrible.
Yeah, all right. That's myself then.
I'm trying to think. What the else did I watched Hellraiser 1 and 2 recently. God, what shit movies that do not live up.
Really? Well, back then they were pretty solid, man. I used to love those.
Yeah, I know. Like I watched them when I was a kid, and now I watched them as an adult, and I'm like, this sucks.
I think it's the pacing now. It's just you just got to really, really pay attention. Otherwise, it's not interesting enough. You got to wait for all the scary shit to come up every 15 minutes.
It's literally like an episode of like The Walking Dead. It's fucking horrific. Like the formula. It's the first 5% of the movie that something actually happens. Then you get a good 60% of nonsense, and then you get like the last 20% for something, and I don't know what percentage is left, but yeah, it's just, oh god, fucking I can't do it. I just can't do it.
All right, I was gonna watch those Hellraisers again one day, but not for discussion with you, I guess.
All right, yeah, well, unless you want me to shit on it, which I totally can.
I'll think about it. Whatever your bowels feel like, we'll discuss it closer to the date. But hey, thanks again, man. I think I'm going to wrap up here. Thanks so much for doing the show with me again.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.
And for the rest of you listeners and whoever's out there, subscribers, there's a lot more movies coming, more episodes. Please subscribe, listen. There's many more events on the horizon. And even if you've gouged out your own eyes, you can still listen. So it's a win-win. All right, Quan, take it easy, man. I will sign off on this.
Have a good one, Mike.
Take care, pal. See you. And bye, listeners. Thanks a bunch.